To this day, I still get comments telling me I'm not Jewish on my video talking about my conversion to Judaism. I have a Jewish father, I converted, I observe the holidays fully.
No one can tell you or should tell you what you are or who you are. I stand with you. I don't know what type of conversion you got, but if you are converting and you are Jewish, then I welcome you to the family. And I like the other point that you made.
We are such a small people globally, and I truly think this level of exclusion only hurts us. Especially in a time of rising anti-Semitism, unity is more important than ever.
That is absolutely true. We have to stand together. We stood together at Sinai when God delivered the law with one heart and one people. We should be the same now when it counts the most.
I literally woke up and everyone thinks I'm Jewish now. It's insane. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not Jewish. I was so confused. And why is it so controversial? Why is it so controversial? All right, guys. I'm Christian. My Bible is right here. I praise God. I worship God. Jesus is King.
This is the Jewish homeland and that they have every right to be there, that they're the indigenous people and that the people who are there are these Arabs who've come from other places and that they shouldn't be there. And so I want to play this for you. This is Naftali Bennett. He has been the opposition of Netanyahu. He's many think would be the next prime minister. And yet these are the types of things he believes. He has this 3-minute, he says this is a 3-minute why 3 minutes of the history of Jews and Zionism. Let's watch what he has to say, and then we're going to break it down.
I'll do something I've never done, and I'll try in 3 minutes to do the history of Jews and Zionism, starting now. The Jewish people first entered the land of Israel 3,300 years ago, and everyone can read that in the Bible. Assuming you don't believe the Bible, then you can look at archaeology, which shows evidence of about 3,000 years ago. There's no dispute that...
Hold on a second. I want to pause this. Let me just go ahead and do a pause. So let's back this up just for a second. So he says, let's go ahead and play this.
Then you can look at archaeology. Jewish people first entered.
There it is. The Jewish people first entered. So he's saying the Jewish people first entered.
Jewish people first entered the land of Israel 3,300 years.
Okay, so they came from somewhere else, right? So he's going to tell us this is why the Jewish people belong here. This is why these other people don't belong here. And he's saying, first of all, the people were here. They came to the land 3,300 years ago. And if you don't believe the Bible, then you can believe archaeology. They came to the land 3,000 years ago. So there were people already there. This wasn't, in the Bible, it even says this wasn't like desolate, just empty land. There were people that were there, the Canaanites, and that Abraham showed up with his family. So where does scholars say Abraham came from? Well, scholars say that, says the Bible states that Abraham was raised in Ur of the Chaldeans. Most scholars agree that that area was the Sumerian city of, anyway, they say it's about the city where Abraham comes from is about 200 miles southeast of Baghdad. I can't pronounce all the names, but 200 miles southeast of Baghdad in lower Mesopotamia in what is now modern day Iraq. So he comes from Iraq. That's where Abraham comes from. That's where the Jewish people come from. Because it was Abraham's children. He had 13 children, 12 of them boys, one of them a girl. So there was the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's the Jewish people. Some of that is the Jewish people. So they didn't even come from there, but he's admitting that, but he's saying
Jewish Americans are so disappointed after DNA started to show them they are not true Jews. This time around, they can't understand the way they've been living with lies. They hide their identity. Now they started to realize that each and everything they told them was about lies. Let's get to hear them in today's episode. Drop your thought in the comment section. Then we'll come back with more comments.
Pull up the videos. Hashtag real spit.
Where are you from?
I'm from Israel.
Oh, Israel. What kind of Jewish are you? Are you Ashkenazi, Sephardic, Mizrahi?
Sephardic.
So you originally come from Spain.
I originally come from Judea.
But Sephardic means Spanish, right?
Yeah.
I came from Spain.
Yeah, but all Jews come from Judea.
That's true. You do look like a real Jew, because some Jews don't look Jewish. Like, you look like an actual Jew.
Ashkenazi Jews are just as Jewish as me, same as Mizrahi Jews, same as Ethiopian Jews, same as Russian Jews. All of us originally from Judea.
No, that's not true. First of all, Ashkenazi Jews are white.
No, they're not.
They're Jewish converts.
No, they're not.
They converted a long time ago.
Judaism is not a religion where you proselytize like Islam and Christianity. It's very difficult to go through an Orthodox conversion. It takes a long time. You have to get denied 3 times before you actually convert. The majority of the people never finish the conversion process.
That was back. That's not nowadays.
That's always. That's always.
Ethiopian Jews are not real Jews either. They converted.
Why are you saying they're not real Jews?
Because they converted. They're not Jewish. The real people of Moses look similar to Levantine Arabs.
That is not correct. You know that you can only be considered Jewish if your mother is Jewish?
I do know that, yes.
You know that that some Jewish women were back in the day, and the kid who comes out white because the male has stronger genes is still Jewish because the mother is Jewish, because that's how Jewish law is.
Shalom, kitty titties. Today we are discussing celebrities I was shocked to find out are not Jewish. First and most shocking, Martin Short. Okay, I think this one has to do with comedy writers, comedians are often associated with being Jewish because a lot of them are, okay? Like Don Rickles, Rodney Dangerfield. Don Rickles is Jewish, right? I mean, yeah, he's not Jewish. He's talked about it before that he's been mistaken for a Yid. He's not. Seth Meyers, another person you would think is a Jew, but he's completely not. I think it's the fact that he's a comedian, he lives in New York, and we could be related, so. This is a little bit of a curveball to me. Liza Minnelli gives such Jewish vibes. Obviously, she's the daughter of Judy Garland. She's not Jewish. But I just see her as, like, my crazy Aunt Deborah who lives in Manhattan and she comes to Seder on Pesach. Like, it's the haircut, it's the vibe, it's the makeup. She's a Yid. You know what I think it is? I think I'm associating Barbara Streisand with, like, Broadway songstress. So therefore, Patti LuPone must be Jewish and Liza Minnelli must be Jewish, but they're not. This one actually is shocking because this is Norman Jewison. He directed Fiddler on the Roof. He passed away last year, sadly, and his last name was Jewison, and he was not a Jew. Go figure. I was shocked to find out that Alan Alda was not Jewish. It's the name, but I learned from watching Oh Hello on Broadway, John Mulaney, Nick Kroll, that Alan Alda, his real name is Alfonso d'Abruzzo. So, not a Yid. You know what this is? This is a list of Italian people that I've mistaken for Jewish people. And I think Tony Bennett, my Zadie, may his memory be blessing, loved Tony Bennett. So I think that's where I'm getting it, but I always thought, oh, Tony Bennett's Jewish. Tony Bennett! Finally, we have Josh Groban, Jay Grobes. My first crush and my first ever concert, I think I was like 5 years old. My family took me to see Josh Groban, and kids made fun of me in school for liking Josh Groban because they had no taste. Anyway, Josh Groban looks like any guy you went to camp with. His name could easily be Ben Solomon, but he's not Jewish. And that's it. Let me know if you thought my list was accurate and any other celebrities you thought were Jewish but are not. Okay, bye!
Guys, I just found out that I come from a Jewish family. So you know how most people have pictures of their family members hanging up around their house? When I was growing up, there was this one picture of a white lady that used to scare the hell out of me because she had these big, bluey green eyes, and they just used to follow me wherever I went. And I used to stand at the picture doing this. I was actually terrified of her, and I was too scared to ask my dad who it was because I just felt like it was awkward. As most of you know, I've been away in America for a couple of years. So when I came back and saw her picture, I was like, oh no. So I finally asked my dad who it was. And it turns out she's my great-great Jewish Syrian grandmother. So this is my great-great Jewish Syrian grandmother. I could have been lipless. She got paperclip lips. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that because she's gonna haunt me. I'm sorry.
Growing up, when I said I was Jewish, people would tell me, no you're not, you're white. And if they didn't erase me outright, they'd pivot to something worse. Oh, so you killed Jesus. Or maybe, all those bad things that happened to your people, the pogroms, the Holocaust, maybe that was because of your own doing. They stripped me of my own identity 1 minute, then weaponized it against me the next. Too white to claim my culture, too Jewish to be safe in whiteness. And when that happens long enough, when the stories, the rituals, the language of your ancestors are treated as disposable or shameful, you start to feel cultureless. Like your heritage is something you're not allowed to celebrate and not allowed to forget. That's how racialism works. It doesn't just take away your history. It convinces you it was never yours to begin with.
The way that Palestinian people and pro-Palestinian people love to use my skin color as an excuse to talk shit about my country. They are so in shock seeing a black person supporting Israel. Let me tell you something. When I say I stand with Israel, I mean I stand with my right to exist. I stand with my family and my friends. I'm a Jewish woman. And the fact that you didn't even know there are Jewish black people living in this earth is insane. And I was never converted to Judaism. I'm not adopted. I saw someone ask me in the comments if I'm adopted. No, I'm not. I was born Jewish to a Jewish mother. My mother, she's also a Jewish woman. She also was born to a Jewish mother, and all the way back. People are talking about how poorly black people are treated in Israel and saying, well, they don't even like your girl. What are you doing there? Let me tell you something. When my grandparents lived all the way in Ethiopia, they were literally hunted and chased and hated just because they were Jews, just because of their religion. I live here in Israel my whole life and I never felt hated. I never felt hunted just because I'm black. It's insane, right? And I know a lot of people are gonna comment, go back to where you came from. But this is exactly what I did. I came back to where my Jewish ass belonged to. So I belong in this fucking land. And I do not give a shit what you have to say about that. I seriously do not give a shit about that.
Yet again, a day of being a Jewish person who looks like me, where you're too white for some and not white enough for others. This in the middle thing is really fun. It's great. Great. Highly, highly recommend it.
In a few recent videos that I posted, I have been accused of being a Jew. And I'm sorry to tell the haters, but I am not a Jew. I am wearing a Star of David necklace. You could see it in a few videos. However, I am not wearing this Star of David for religious reasons. In fact, even though I am studying Judaism, this is literally 0% to do with me studying Judaism, why I wear this necklace. I wear this necklace in solidarity, to show my solidarity with the Jewish community. There's literally no religious reasons at all. However, there's one exception to me saying I'm not a Jew. I am not a Jew. However, if you accuse me of being a Jew with the intent of with any kind of anti-Semitic intent, then I am a Jew.
She would say the lived experience as a black person of racism is different, for example, from the racism that somebody like me who's a Jew would have experienced. Now, most people would say you should never say that there's a hierarchy of racism, and that the implication of what she said is that there's a hierarchy. I'm sure she would deny that that's what she meant, but that's what came across.
But there is a hierarchy in racism. There's a racism that those of us who exist in skin that we can't hide experience. Then there is a prejudice that you experience as a Jewish person, but also being white. No one knows you're Jewish when you walk down the street. Not a single soul knows you're Jewish. And to the contrary, worldwide, especially in the UK and America, it benefits you in many circumstances to be a part of that community when it comes to financial sectors, entertainment sectors, in various arenas. Whereas me being a black man, I will always be black first. And then even worse, a black woman will always be black and a woman. So no white man, no white presenting male will ever experience the type of racism that any black woman would ever experience anywhere in the world.
People have to pay taxes.
We've never had
the
a
whole
Jewish president.
concept is no taxation without. We have had a white male president. We've had like 45 of them.
Whether Jews count as white or not has been sort of an object of debate for quite a while. We do. Okay.
You do.
So, I mean, it depends according to whom, and that's a pretty recent development. Okay, so.
Basically everyone. It's a religion.
Judaism
do you not agree that you were a white man?
I mean, I think that it depends on the context in which you're discussing it.
Being black means you're a part of one of the most ostracized, oppressed, and hated communities in the world, while also being the center of the world's inspiration for culture, art, and expressionism. It's a wild dichotomy to live in, to see how everyone loves to emulate being black, no matter where you are, and being hated simultaneously. And that shows in various things, like in Europe, how they love to dress up as Africans and go to African festivals and eat African food. To America, white people loving rap music, loving the food, loving the cookout, loving the dances, loving everything about various aspects of our culture, but then hating us at the same time. You will never experience that. And this is not me saying that Jewish people don't experience any type of hate, because they do, obviously, in this world, and historically, that's true. But in 2025, you will never experience racism like a black person will. And Jewish is not a race, it is a religion, and you are a white man of Eastern European descent who happens to be Jewish. Let's not conflate the two. This is how we're in the predicament we're in now.
The truth is, converts are ethnic Jews, and nobody outside of the tribe gets to tell anybody inside the tribe whether they're in the tribe or not, ethnically or religiously. Welcome back to your regularly scheduled monthly reminder that converts are ethnic Jews. Judaism is an ethno-religion. There are only a handful of ethno-religions in the world, Judaism being the most commonly known one. We are a closed practice. I converted to an entire tribe, to an entire community who said, yes, we recognize you from Mount Sinai. As a reminder, since you don't know, ethnicity, by definition, includes more than just DNA. Does it include DNA? Yes, absolutely. It also is defined by shared values, shared religion, shared language, shared traditions, shared customs, shared everything. I traded my entire life, how I pray, how I eat, what I eat, how I speak, the language I use, the holidays that I observe. I traded the entirety of my life for a life as a Jew. Everything that I do is informed by my Judaism. And my tribe looked at me and they said, yes, we recognized your soul from Mount Sinai. Welcome home. I am an ethnic Jew, and if you converted to Judaism, not you, Sarah, if you, anybody watching this, converted to Judaism, and you came out of the mikveh, you are also an ethnic Jew because you are practicing our tribe's practices. And do not let anybody outside of our tribe tell you who you are. Am Yisrael Chai.
Jake, after your last march in Dearborn, Michigan, a lot of people said you're a Jew. What's a Jew doing leading all of this? Are you a Jew?
No, I'm a Christian, born again Christian, raised Irish Catholic, never even been inside a Jewish temple in my life. My mom is Russian Jewish by...
That's all you need to know, dude. Born again, my nuts.
Because I've never been to a temple. I've only been to the wall of the greatest temple on that faith.
Yeah, I only went to the wall, held up a book, and wrapped my entire arm like this.
Well, I'm Jewish and I'm pro-Palestine. Didn't you only find out that you were like 1 or 2% Jewish on a DNA test a few months ago? Oh, so you're gonna gatekeep being Jewish? Mm-hmm. Frankly, I don't see it that way, but if you want to call it that, then yes. Having anything under 5% is basically just DNA noise. It's probably not even accurate. And if it is accurate, what? Is that 7 generations ago? Don't quote me on that, I'm making a point. Hate to say it, 2% African doesn't make you black. 1 or 2% of indigenous doesn't make you indigenous. Heck, even being indigenous, you have to have it a certain amount of generations back to be really a part of a tribe. Well, you don't really have space to talk about this because you're a convert. Hey, I have that really small percent of Jewish too, and I had to convert. I'd been learning about Judaism for years before I finally took the plunge and joined a synagogue and began the formal process of conversion. And that's why I'm upset. It is not easy. You don't walk into a synagogue, say, hey, I want to be Jewish, and everyone's just like, okay. You're actually told no a few times. And that's tradition, because it's taken extremely seriously. It actually takes years to convert. I was given a list, 3 pages, front and back, of books I had to read for my conversion. I had a 20-week class I had to take. And that list doesn't even include the Torah and the Talmud. I have to learn a completely different language. I have to completely restructure my home. I have to change my diet. I have prayers in another language that I recite every day, and I have to know the English translation to them. But you think on a DNA test, because you're Jewish, you get to sit there and say, I'm pro-Palestine and I'm Jewish. No, you don't get to do that. Actually, I think I am the person to tell you that you don't get to do that. You saying that you are Jewish because of a DNA test is an insult. You are insulting every single convert who did the work. You are insulting people who are born Jewish, who are devout Jews. You are completely disrespecting the culture. You are disrespecting and ignoring the traditions of this religion. You are disrespecting the sacrifice and the trauma of generations of Jews. And it's not just about World War II. It's about the thousands of years of genocide, of bigotry, systemic anti-Semitism, families who died of starvation because they couldn't get jobs because many governments didn't allow them to work the same jobs as non-Jews or shop at the same stores. I'm not going to let you claim Jewish for brownie points, for clout, allow you to tokenize yourself, and parade around acting like you've been oppressed your entire life. What you're doing is wrong, and I'm holding you accountable for it.
You remember, each and every time people kept saying, there will be a time the truth will start to come out. Black people has been screaming for years that they erase our history, they store our identity, inheritance, each and everything they hide from us, not knowing that there will be a time each and everything will start come out as the way it is. This is what we are seeing. Now see these Jewish Americans, they are starting to get disappointed. You were just a grown-up white woman thinking that you convert yourself in Judaism, you belong in your culture, you are true Jews, that's your land, you are from there, you are the person the Bible is always talking about. But after taking the DNA, you find that you don't have even any small percentage of true origin people of that land. You are not even close to them. These are the people we've been saying, Ashkenazi Jews who were there in those lands of Europe, in Russia, in those back days. You remember, Romans came down to burn, to scatter each and everything in that land of Jerusalem. People started to lose their identity, their motherland. They started to scatter in different corners of the world. These are the people they kept hiding all those back days. These are the people who started to say, please, you need to recognize us. We are claiming our dignity. We want our inheritance. We want our land back. No one was ever there to hear them. They kept raising up their voices from generation to generation. People write different books. A lot of historians, professors try to explain each and everything connect to these people. But no one was ever there to understand the true meaning of each and everything. Now see, in this century, the so-called owner of that land, themselves, they started to realize that they lied to them. How come? This time around, it's illegal to get a DNA in Israel. You could ask yourself, why it's illegal? Why they can't allow you to do whatever you want on your blood? This is what people always saying. You can't change a bloodline. You can't copy a bloodline. If you don't belong there, you don't belong there. You need to look somewhere else where you came from. You need to look where you belong. Don't allow people lying to you. You remember, people try to push so hard to let the whole world to understand the reality, how each and everything started there, how people lose their identity, how people moved far away from their motherland. You know, each and every time someone tried to say something like this, they brought different policies. No, when you talk about this land, you are against our laws and rules. When you talk about something like this, we can't allow you to keep talking about it. Now see, who is going to stop these so-called Ashkenazi Jews to claim their identity? Who is going to consult them to understand that they've been living with lies? Imagine you think in your blood, you are someone, you have belief, you have culture, you think that you've been doing things in the right way. At the same time, you discovered that you were wrong, you are the fake person of the same land. Imagine how these people, they would feel. And yet their parents, they know the truth, but they never wanted to tell them each and everything. Just try to feel the way they feel right now. You kept doing DNA, you kept checking different hospitals saying maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they made a mistake. Last time we made a video how most of these Ashkenaz Jews, after doing DNA, they found that they comes from Irish, Germany, Spain, France, Italy, Russia, Romania. Imagine. You find your brethren is from Romania, and yet for you, you thought that you are from that land of Israel. This is what is making a lot of people keep talking about it. Many people couldn't even understand how come they don't want to let the whole world know the truth. When these people, how long are they going to keep hiding all this? Some people, even from there, they have Jews names, and yet they are not from that land. Just try to imagine some ministers here and there. They change their names just to hide the truth. But see, in this digital world, each and everyone, especially this Gen Z, they are discovering the truth by themselves. They keep coming out to ask all these different questions. How? Our lobby, we have different people who are supposed to tell us the truth. Why they allow us to live with these lies? Why they never care about our feelings, to feel the way you could feel when you hear that you are not from there? Just try to imagine. We've been thinking that what Black Americans are saying, it's just propaganda. They are just make it fun. We never knew that these people, they may be telling the truth. If they are saying they erased our history, they stole us from our motherland, now see, how come our picture is coming in this land? How did we got ourselves here? We know that we convert in Judaism means we were true Jews. How come we have other people who are always claiming this land? How this mixed information is going at the end to bring good results? Now see what we always saying, that there is nothing hidden which will never come out at the right time. When you see Black Americans, they like to say, God of Black Americans is working so hard to expose all those lies, to expose some people because they thought that they are superior. No one is going to ask them this and that. But see, our God is never sleep, is always awake to make sure each and everything he talk about us, he fulfill it. This is what we are seeing now. Some people, they are just come out fighting each other, tell us the truth. We've been telling them, exposing each other of what we've been telling them. See, as we are sitting down, as we are resting, we no longer talk about anything, but them, they are growing, they are with anger, they don't know what to do. See how God of Black people is working. Guys, let me know what you think today's episode. Drop your thought in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.